Star Soaps channel. How are you today? I'm doing good. Today I am going to be making a nice spicy warm soap because it's the middle of winter here in New Zealand and it's freezing cold, and that is the culprit. This is a beautiful piece of artwork by my friend Joni, and it is of our beautiful mountain that is completely covered in a thick blanket of snow right now because we are having some seriously cold weather. So I'm going to make some dragon's blood soap to warm me up. So let's go make it. Dragon's blood gem soap. Squeak! Alright, so we will begin by adding our lye solution to our cooled oils, as we've done so many times before, and always sieving the lye solution because that's the way I roll. Now I like to slow this down and let you see the spiral of emulsification. Oh, so beautiful. And I'm being very careful not to over mix because, as you may remember, I have had a hard time with dragon's blood in the past, thickening my soap to a point where I can't do any of my cool designs. So I only mix a little bit. I'm only using one colour, and that's just this blood red to match the dragon's blood. Oh, I think it looks beautiful. It's a Bordeaux red mica from micamama.com. And a little bit of titanium dioxide into the base to help whiten it. And in goes my dragon's blood fragrance. So spicy, so delicious, very hippie, very much an earthy hippie scent in my opinion. So now that that's all blended through, I am going to get that soap in that mould lickety split, because as I just told you, it thickens up quick once that fragrance goes in. So just scrape the jug out, make sure I get every last bit of my base into the mould. And then I'm just doing a quick skewer swirl to help settle it in because it's thick. I'm so impressed at how thin that red is. It looks so beautiful, but you'll see in just a second that when I go to swirl it with the skewer, it's already trying to go hard and thicken, and it's only been in the mould for a minute. Look at that. You can see that it does not look lovely and fluid. It already looks chunky or something. Not chunky, I don't know if that's the right word, but anyway. So now I'm just putting the last little speckles of the white on, and it's time for us to add our gemstone toppers. Now I just made these out of Melt & Pour. I just took, it was like a gold base that I had left over, and I just chopped it up into little pieces. And then I beveled the edges. That is the best way to describe what I did. So that every little part of these little tiny pieces of soap was beveled. It made it look like it was a gemstone that had been polished and prepared. So I did a bunch of gold ones, but I also did a bunch of purple ones to represent amethyst. And I just thought that, like I said, because this is such a hippy dippy soap to me, the dragon's blood, it was a good idea to cover it with a bunch of hippie gypsy gemstone looking soaps. I absolutely love it. I'm definitely going to do this again and try doing maybe different stones to represent different crystals. I've always been into crystals, so I would love to try to replicate that in soap. Maybe doing some quartz crystal and some rose quartz, and maybe some black obsidian, some blue lapis lazuli. Could be a lot of fun. The list goes on. So there we have it. The soap is all topped with its beautiful soapy gems, ready to sit overnight and saponify. Oh, I just love how those gemstones look. So pretty. And here we are, back again the next day, ready to unmould our soap and cut it into bars. Oh, I just love white, creamy looking soap like this. More and more these days, I'm choosing to only portion out and colour one little bit of my soap and leave the rest white. I just love it. I think it's great. And I can't stop myself from being artistic on the top, I have to admit. So slicing off my little end pieces, and you can see my skewer swirly squiggly swirl. Mostly white bars with just that little bit of red across the top, which as you can see no longer is really blood red. It now looks more like brick red. So far this has been the best red I can achieve in cold process soap. I know that is an ongoing battle for a lot of soapers where they are trying to achieve the perfect red. For me, I'm pretty happy with this terracotta red. If I want to punch it up more, I can always add some pink mica. But this is cool. This is red. Sort of a metallic red. And the little gemstones on the top turned out great. And as I said, they're just melt and pour soap, so they'll just work like the rest of the soap. It's not going to be like a stone on the top of the soap or anything like that. I'm pretty happy with how these came out, and I'll probably end up doing the gemstones again and putting more on. I was quite sparing with them in this batch and I didn't use that many, and I keep looking at the bars thinking, oh, they'd look better if they had a few more. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Alrighty, and here we have the final Dragon's Blood Gem soaps, and I love them. I think they came out really good. I'm actually getting more and more into this mostly white bar look with just a little bit of colour on the very top. I'm not exactly sure what's turned me over to this, but I just like it. I really do. I enjoy the way that the final soap performs, because there won't be any coloured lather even if I've used an oxide, because it's only a small portion of the soap that is coloured with it, so it's great. And what I've done is I've made these little gemstones out of melt and pour and just sort of plop them all over the top, mostly because the Dragon's Blood did what it has done to me in the past when I add the full recommended amount of it. So I added exactly 5% to my base weight of oils of the fragrance oil, and it caused it to thicken and rise really quickly, and I dumped it in the mould real quickly, but it still, as you can see on the top, got quite chunky. And I think that the way I got around that last time was that I used half of the recommended fragrance oil usage, so 2.5% to my base weight of oils, which is 680 mils of oils, and that worked out a lot better. So I'll leave a link below to that video of me making that Dragon's Blood soap. So now this is the third in the Dragon's Blood series, and it's a bit of an experiment, and I love the way it smells, because that's what I was going for, was a real strong Dragon's Blood scent. But unfortunately, if I want to do an intricate design, I have to go for a lighter scent of Dragon's Blood. Luckily for me, Dragon's Blood is a booyah fragrance. It is really, really strong. So even using it at half of its recommended weight, I still got a nicely scented final soap. But like I say, with this one, I just wanted it to pack a punch. And it does, so I'm happy. So I hope you enjoyed watching me make this Dragon's Blood Gem soap. And if you did, and you want to see more, feel free to become a member of the Star Soaps family. Hit that subscribe button down there, and feel that soapy love. Thanks again, guys. And this week I'd like to highlight Janine Wilson at Love of Luxury Soaps and her beautiful little bath melts that she made and shared on our Facebook group. If you'd like to have your photo highlighted, please post it in the group and I'll save it and keep an eye out for it in the future. I hope you enjoyed watching me make Dragon's Blood soap, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Try some of mine soap. The soap is gonna keep you clean and warm you up and make you feel like a queen.